here now present, in this moment, in every moment, at all times, your wider perspective, that which is you from a different angle. Go ahead.
Thank you so much for coming through and for allowing me to ask some questions. I would love to hear WEOLA's perspective on, I feel like it's part of, so it lights me up, this whole dating thing, and like being a part of a new creation, like a co-creation of birthing something new, a new way of being, permission of being for men and women together and apart. What is your perspective on that? I'm not sure if this is
What we want to say is that anywhere where your curiosity goes is where there is an opportunity for a physical manifestation. And so your curiosity is because you are tuning yourself into something new, a new idea or new curiosity. And then if this is something that is coming your way and it does not let you, so to speak, not explore it, then you know that you're really, really in the place of something wonderful unfolding.
Hey everyone, so nice of you to tune in. This is one of the favorite interviews I've done to date. It was so much fun speaking to these amazing men, these twin flame soulmates, manifesting masters who understand, period. And WEOLA came through as well. Kosta channels WEOLA. And it's just yummy. I don't want to say too much, because if I start to speak about all the things that I actually want to say, I'm going to fill a whole nother hour. So just start this interview, and I intend for you to get from it all that you need, and even more than you think you might want to get from it. I wish you lots of love, lots of fun, and enjoy the interview.
Armand and Kosta, so nice for you to make time. And this is pretty divine, because I actually thought that I was talking to you alone, Armand. And I thought, but actually I also want to talk to them both. And then Kosta asked you and you tuned in and you said, both.
Yeah. Yeah, it was so much fun. Actually, we've done most of the interviews, actually all of them, together.
Yes.
And just recently, I start to get reflection through my own process to actually be invited to interviews on my own. So now when that happens, I say yes, and then I tune in to see if that's for both of us or just for me. So that was the case. It was easy. I just closed my eyes and I was like, this feels so yummy doing it together.
Yeah, and it links in perfectly with what I want to ask the both of you and what came to me. So it has been percolating for a while, and you might recognize this. So I'm going to start a series, and I guess you guys are the first. I'm going to start a series on dating and debunking myths. And while I don't want to debunk myths necessarily with you, but there's like this collective consciousness as well, like there are multiple. And there's one that says, if you're a girl, then you need to, and you're heterosexual, you need to do this and this and this and this in order to get the guy. and the other way around. And I don't know if this is also a thing in homosexual communities, but heterosexual, there are a lot of rules that are just nonsense. So you, like, I messaged you after seeing the video that you guys did the day after Valentine's Day. And I loved it so much. So everything that was shared in there, or the most things that I remember that was shared in there, and I was, I need to speak to Armand, because you so manifest, well, you manifested each other. But I love how you just kept to your vision, and you were like, no, I'm going to meet my husband, and what happens, I'm going to meet him. So that's what I want to kind of talk to you about.
Yes. Well, actually, what you said, there is a variety of perspective from which people are giving themselves permission to operate in someone what they want. When it comes to dating, I assume in heterosexual or homosexual communities, uh, also there is like a specific culture and beliefs around that, and it's also based of where you are. So there is a lot of like cultural traditions, that got to be infused. I'm sure that dating someone in New York, for example, where we've met, it might be different that maybe in Amsterdam, I don't know. But the whole story, the collective story that people were saying in New York is that it's very difficult to date, and I think there is a little bit of that in every big city, where, there is so much variety, so there is so much distraction, and it's so easy to get a one night's fling, that kind of like people don't want to commit to anything longer than for a moment, because why? I can get multiple experience, like short experience, and it's very valid, it's very valid. And I think in both cases, heterosexual couples or same sex, it's very similar in that sense, because actually now you can go to a bar right now in Amsterdam and in a second, and you don't even have to be the one to be approached. You can come to the guy and say, hey, I want to have sex with you, and that's it. So yes, I personally had a very clear desire that I wanted to experience a stubborn, continuous mirror, so I can actually know myself more, right? Because he, for me, is an excuse. He's reflecting to me who I am being in that moment. When you
Can
have
I
ever, yes,
can I pause you for a moment?
yeah, yes, please.
So was that the wish? I want to have the mirror. Is that what you're saying now? That was your wish, and you were like, I'm going for that, or
That's my awareness now.
okay.
That's my awareness now. My wish was to have quote unquote a traditional relationship where eventually we
Monogamous
yeah,
relationship.
monogamous when
Yeah.
we get married and we have kids and all of that. I wanted to experience that. That was
Yeah.
an important part for me. So I, at that moment, kept telling my own story. And, we think thoughts all the time. And those thoughts are actually affirmations, like it's
I
self-affirming
know.
all the time. So I kind of like was blabbing it without really like questioning, do I believe it or not? It was more like, oh, let me
What
just
story?
affirm.
What story are we talking about now?
Oh,
The positive?
about manifesting my life partner.
Okay, cool. Because I thought maybe first you had a different story, but you had a
No,
good
no,
story
no.
already.
Yeah, I'm talking about manifesting my life partner. So, and whatever reflection I was getting from other people, such as it's difficult to date, you won't find a serious relationship or anything. I was just skipping that, and I was like, okay, well, I'm here. I want this. There are millions and millions of people here, and if there is at least one person that wants the same, I'm gonna meet this person. And that
I
happened.
want to stop there. Yeah, because this is so cool. Your focus of belief and mind, and is that something that you always had, or is it something that you cultivated because you were aware that reality works that way?
I cultivated. I wasn't fully aware that there's just, in fact, at that time, I wasn't not even close as aware as I am now. Now I can, I can see in retrospect and kind of the dots why that happened the way it happened. But I, I had certain desires that I was just very committed to them. It was like unwavering commitment, and this
Yeah.
was one of them.
Yeah.
And when I have an unwavering commitment, I don't even have to have the awareness, the full awareness. Now it's easier because I'm more deliberate, and more
Yeah.
conscious
Yeah.
about my
Yeah.
creation process. But at that time, it was just stubbornly
Yeah.
looking at one direction. And actually, during the process, even dating people,
Yeah.
I was dating them as I'm in a relationship with them.
Yeah.
So let's say in the beginning, if I wanted to have a time of dating just and have a romantic, experience where we don't necessarily have sex right away, but we buy flowers each other, have this experience that I've never had before, I would commit to that in the beginning. And people would flew out, and I said, okay, that's fine, because that means that's not these people.
Perfect. So you weren't phased. You were just like, oh, it doesn't mean that you're not it. You didn't get attached.
I got attached to what I want, so to speak.
Yeah.
So
And not the
I'm wavering.
person. Yeah.
My
Yeah.
desire, actually, I was very attached to my desire.
Yeah.
I
But
just
not to
wasn't
how you want.
attached to this particular person at that moment. In fact, when I finally met Kosta, I was like, oh, this is fun. Let's see how this is gonna go.
Yeah.
Like it was more like a play and a game, like let's see how this is gonna go. Now, the way he saw me, he already knew. Like it wasn't even like a question. He was like, okay, I'm marrying this guy, we're having kids, and we gonna live forever happily now. So
Can I ask Costa a couple of questions?
Yeah.
Thank you
Go ahead.
so much for this, Armand. So is it Armando? Because I say Armand, or is it Armando?
Armand is like my short name. Armando is like official, my passport name. So whatever feels
What
good.
do you, Armand?
I prefer Armand because Armand
He
is
goes by Armand.
yeah, because it's more casual and friendly. I feel, like
Yeah.
Armando seems,
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
Very, very telenovela.
yeah, very telenovela.
I love. Did you see Jane the Virgin telenovela?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
I
absolutely.
love it. Okay. Anyway, so Costa, how was it for you? Were you also like focused on meeting your life partner, or were you kind of more like, oh yeah, we'll see? Like, what was going on?
Well, what we do have in common is that we both, or I feel like, we knew that we would want to be in a traditional, meaning committed monogamous relationship. I feel like that was the model that we grew up in, and that's one of the models that we did not want to change. I feel like, sometimes when we talk about the social constructs or family constructs, we often talk about the ones we do want to change, but this one was the one that I feel we both did not want to change.
Yeah.
It's something that we wanted to experience in this lifetime.
Hmm.
And so every time I would meet somebody before, I would be in a long relationship. So after I broke up with my ex, for a couple of years, very similar, like Armand was just saying, I would go even into a hookup or just like a date or something with the full on undivided attention and interest to see where this can lead. Because my way of thinking was, well, why would I give my time if I don't really have an interest in someone? Like, I always had so many things I wanted to experience professionally and with friends and with family. So to think that I did not have time to pass in that way.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
like, in a way, for quite some time in a pursuit of a partner. And
Yeah.
so for those few years before we met and after I broke up with my ex, I had what I call seasons. I had like of 3 to 6 months of like, I'm going out there, I'm putting myself out there, and then I would get a burnout from that. And I would just be 3 to 6 months, I would be just like a monk. Like, I didn't want to see anybody, I don't want to go on dates, I didn't want to go to a bar. And then I would have those little, like, ups and downs, meaning I go out there and then not necessarily get disappointed, but just get a burnout from trying, right? So just wanted to relax. So when I met him, it was actually in the middle of that phase where I was not doing anything. I was actually not pursuing anything.
The burnout season.
Yeah, I was just totally like not going for it. And my part of the story came from releasing the resistance on a different topic. So I had a lot of resistance built on like in business world. And the day that I met him was the first day where I felt a huge relief, like something in a business environment has changed to how I wanted it. So I dropped all of the resistance and I was so relaxed and easygoing. But again, mind you, for 2, 3, 4 months before, I was not pursuing anything. So no pursuing, fully relaxed, no resistance. And there he was at that very specific bar. And so when we started to interact, he was like, what are you saying? Like,
I want to have the scene. I want to have the scene. Okay,
Oh.
so bar, what time is it in the evening?
Okay, so I'm gonna give you the very, very fast version because I have so many details about this.
Okay.
So it's already late in the evening and I'm having this nudge not to go home. So I went to see a friend at the bar and then I'm like, but I went for a dinner, saw a friend at the bar and I was like, why do I not want to go home? This is weird. I'm usually home by this time. So I went to this bar where usually I would end up, right? And because now this is not the time when I'm coming out, meaning when I'm not going out so much, I did not talk to my friends. I'm on my own and I never was really going out on my own. It was so weird. And so in a line for restroom, he was speaking to a friend and they were speaking in Spanish about me, thinking that I don't speak Spanish.
What did you say? What did they say about you?
So his friend was into me, but he was actually on a date with another guy. So Armand was telling him, don't be such a whore. Like, come on, be respectful to your partner. And I was like, this is just so cute. And then after I left the restroom, I came in to dance with them because his friend didn't want to miss me. So he plugged all of them right there. So I cannot miss them. And then I started dancing with him. And then, at that time I was a professional ballroom dancer and Armand used to dance before as well. And when I started, like, I was really relaxed and I just wanted to dance. And then his friend said, well, don't show off too much because my friend is a professional dancer. And it was literally like a spotlight went from this guy being interested in me into like him. And I was like, oh, okay. So I grabbed him for the hand. He's like, what you doing? I was like, I'm a ballroom dancer too. So let's just go and dance. So we started dancing and, the way he remembers it is that we did not kiss, but we did kiss very briefly. Yes, we did. And then we started talking and realized that because he used to do this years before, but when he spent a year in US, he knew everybody from that world that I know now. Like even the person he was working for was their dance partner, was my boss at the time. And then I was like, and all of a sudden it was this feeling, how some people have a checklist of how they want their partner to look like and what to be like? Well, I guess I was making those preferences along the way, right? But I did not ever have a list. But when I met him, the list showed up. Actually, it was showing up. The bullet points from the list were showing up and it was just check. And I was like, this is weird. I didn't even know I have all of this list. I didn't even know that I actually wanted all of these things in a partner. And all of a sudden it was check, check, check. So at the end of the night, I wanted to make sure that I was like, he was just so relaxed that I was like, I'm not gonna go and explain to him this weird stuff that I'm having in my head right now, but I'm gonna make sure I see him. So I said, you are gonna write my phone number. So I took his phone, and then I said, but wait a second, this happened to me before, so I have to ask you, do you have a boyfriend? And then he said, no. And I said, well, now you do. And he's like, oh my gosh, like you're drunk. He's like, you don't even know me. And I said, we have all our lives to get to know one another. Like, I'll give you some time to catch up on what's happening over here.
It was, from my perspective, it was interesting because it's almost like I had no choice. Because when someone is like he was so adamant about what he was seeing, right? And feeling that, what do you say when someone tells you, oh, you don't have a boyfriend? Well, not you do. And I'm like,
I find it super
what?
sexy.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
I was
find it
like,
very sexy. I'm like, yeah, okay.
yeah, okay, well, let's see,
So,
like,
yeah.
anyways. And by the way, the funny part about all this conversation, which I had no idea we're gonna talk about
Yeah.
this topic, and now we're here together. Today is 10 years
Oh, yes, that's right.
since we've met at that bar.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah,
No.
it's our
I
10-year
loved
anniversary.
The first
Yeah, and I had no idea. I thought we're gonna channel, we're gonna do something, like,
Oh, we
no.
can, but maybe later.
Oh my God, but
I
this
love
is
this.
this is the best. I love it. Thank you.
Yes,
This
it's our
is the best,
anniversary.
yeah.
Our 5-year wedding anniversary and 10 years together. It's on the same day, March 1st. Yeah.
Wow, congratulations. And I
Thank
feel
you.
so honored that you are wanting to spend time with me now.
Well, that was another curiosity of mine because I'm like, I had a session that I had to move to today, and then he had an interview he was doing, and then I said, why did we pack the day, and why we could have done this interview any other day, right? But I guess it's for this reason, to have this conversation with you.
Actually, so if that's a possibility, first I have to ask, are you both WEOLA? Because I feel like you also tune in or not. Okay,
Yes,
so
but
only
he
Kosta's
channeled,
WEOLA.
obviously, as co-creating together, we
Okay.
both bring a unique frequency to
Yeah.
what we co-create, but he is the channel of Viola, and
He is the summoner of WEOLA.
I'm the
Ah,
summoner
okay.
of Viola.
Like Esther and Esther and Jerry.
Many compare that.
Mary compared it that way. In the beginning, it was very much like that, and
Okay.
Armand channels in many different forms.
Yeah.
It's still not in that same odd, like clairvoyant form where
Yeah.
flows energy. At least it's not in that amount. But here we are finding out what new is coming.
There is no but. It's
Yeah.
it's actually there's no but. It's fascinating.
You don't have a butt?
I don't. I have a butt.
Okay.
A cute butt. That's
This is
I'm
not
not
that
gonna
kind of
say.
channel. We cannot talk butts on my channel.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah.
You can talk whatever. So, can I leave this in a little, and then I would love to check if I can ask WEOLA a question, and also Armand, and yeah, so whatever feels good for you.
Yeah.
So this morning I had a surge of energy. I was like, what's going on? I'm like super happy and excited, and so I made this video because the idea I told you about before, I was like, yes, I'm going to interview men and women, and it's going to be called, probably, this is the working title, Ask a Hot in Between parentheses guy/girl. And then just debunk myths, like things that I grew up with, like you have to be really thin, you have to be white and blonde and blue eyes, blah, blah, blah. All this nonsense. You have to act like this, you have to, and both sides, like men grew up a certain way, women grew up a certain way, and just have the other side respond to that. And everyone will respond from their own experience, but also how old are they? because the older you get, at least that's my experience, my preferences change. And whereas before it was all about, the external things, now I have a long list with qualities that I admire. Long story short, I'm not going to get into more of this. I'm just curious to see if WEOLA has something to say about that, because I felt it so strongly and I'm actually asking for confirmation, but also like what WEOLA has to say about this topic, the dating, like, because I feel there's so much we can still develop in that area. And the more people are in tune with what's really true, the more beautiful I think life can be. And we can create life for each other to be, because we're not so focused on, but you have to be this and that for me. And I think I have to be, no, we just need to be our own authentic energy and then meet the other in their authenticity. But anyway.
Yes, before we go with WEOLA, because actually when Kosta channels, I'm just step out.
You don't have to step out. It's okay.
Okay, but
Yeah.
I wanted to just you said a lot of things. First of all, it's not with age, is with you expanding and changing. Nothing has to do with the age. It's just you through the variety of your experience, you making new preference, and you're not the same now, not because of your age, just because it's your natural process of becoming more and fuller.
Yeah.
So
I love that. Yes, thank you.
and your preferences now, they're not going to be the same after. And when you meet, if that's what you want, your life partner, and you have a relationship, those checklists, like he was saying the other day, we probably broke up and remarried like 700 times throughout 10 years because we're not the same people that when we've met. So also this checklist is continuously becoming different. You have different preferences. And I always proud ourselves to be in like not 50-50 but 100-100 together. But now it's literally on a new whole layer has unleashed where I actually I had to recognize that I was codependent in many ways on him, because I was seeing him
Another way around, yeah.
Yeah, like, oh my God, he's someone who channels, he's someone who is, on stage, and, the one that is presenting, and I was proud that I can celebrate that through him. But it's still, I still was doing through him. I wasn't shining my lights. I wasn't even aware I wasn't doing it, I was experiencing what does it mean shining the light through him. And that just creates layers and layers of codependency, where almost like, oh my God, if you are God, and you are as we all are, but meaning, like I would see him as someone
on a pedestal.
On a pedestal. Yes. So why you're triggered now, like it's almost like I was depending on his mood oftentimes, and then the other way around from a different perspective. So my perception about togetherness and wholeness, is actually has changed too, from even 2 weeks ago, where now, and I I understand that when the true power, when a couple co-create together, and when they both are wholly shining their own light individually through anything they want to express, because there is no comparison. I cannot even describe with words the dropping of my comparison. It's like non-existent anymore, because our uniqueness is what, it's not what makes us special. Our uniqueness is the excuse to shine our light. And that's why we came here, you know. So we have a unique lenses, meaning a unique opportunities. As much as we co-create together, we have different desires. Not all our desires are together. Desires to express, to experience something different, and it's just beautiful to allow this dance between both now in such a much more expanded freedom. So we always felt we have this freedom, you know, and we were doing it, but now it's a whole new level of it.
Super
So
nice. It's
yeah.
really cool to be in the presence of that, like because
Mm-hmm.
I don't know you, but I know you, but I don't, and I do. And it's amazing and it's very inspiring. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes. And there are many nuggets that I also was receiving, but I'm just gonna leave now for my husband to bring WEOLA.
Oh, thank
And
you so much.
you're
So kind
so
of you.
welcome. You have
So
my
kind.
wholehearted permission to do it after I spoke for 3 minutes
I
nonstop.
asked him 3 times, are you sure this is for both of us or just for you? He's like, no, it's for both of us. I'm like,
I was
not really sure. So now he's like, okay, let's bring in some WEOLA as well
yeah.
to make sure that this was an interview for both. No, I'm celebrating. You cannot imagine how much I'm celebrating this because um, you see, we are the couple that wanted to do everything together and proudly going into it and being glued to the hip and living together, working from home together, traveling together. Like if we're apart, we so much love to be together that on a FaceTime or on a message, it's like it lasts 3.5 seconds. We just love to be together. And so experiencing oneness with another person is a very true dimension, right? Supporting one another, not making distinction, like everything we do, it's ours. Like we were starting to take me completely out of our vocabulary at all, which gave us this. It brought the WEOLA flow, it brought channeling, it brought transformation, it brought our life's work to this planet
Yeah.
in this form. But when you then see, as he was saying, and you have two streams that are individually hooked, right? And then to like look at each other and from there directed, that's like then really super powerful. And that's something that we're actually, it's very fresh for us stepping into it. So, and actually, you know, when two become one, and for us now, it's the two became one, and now from one, it's splitting into three, actually, just in this analogy of even interviews. It's like, well, now you don't get just WEOLA, because sometimes people wanted to interview just me because of WEOLA in the very beginning. And then you don't get just two of us now hanging out. Oh, you get like Armand, or you get Kosta, or you get us together, or you get us with WEOLA, or you get it with like
All possibilities.
activation, meditation, chit chat, whatever you want. Like all of a sudden, there's this huge explosion because
Of even
yeah,
of infinite ways of expressing, you know, like
yeah,
not just one way. So not like holding on to
yeah,
something, God forbid we don't do an interview together or something that we used to be together, you know, do together, but just allowing the new me, the new him, and the new us
yeah,
to express in a variety of ways.
I love
Yeah,
it.
that's exciting, that's exhilarating, that's
It's a
fresh,
garden. It's
So,
like a
yeah.
that's
garden with a
expansive,
lot of
you know.
different.
And our yeah, it's and this is the, like, we're on a new phase of our relationship, and it's super exciting.
Yeah, and
It's like
yeah.
literally new.
Yeah, and we have no idea what's happening. We know there's going to be a whole bunch of personal, individual brands, mutual brands, collaborations, some things we do together, some things we don't, but we don't know what they are. And that's like super exciting now to be discovering. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
I feel so lucky to be here with you, to
Oh,
be a
you're sweet.
witness
Thank you.
to this amazing new birth. Like on the anniversary, on your anniversary, like a new birth of the two of you, and who knows, a new birth of something of mine as well.
Exactly. Yes.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
There are no coincidences.
Not.
Okay. Do you want to bring Viola?
It seems that you really want to bring
I
Viola.
want to bring Viola.
I want to. I want to.
Okay, then I want to. I cannot say no to that,
I'm
even if I
gonna-
wanted to. So yeah.
Actually, this is the first time you see holding on to the old. I was like, I'm just gonna step out, and I'm like, actually, no, I can be here, like in the present. Like we are. It feels like we're three of us sitting, like friends in
Absolutely.
the same
Yeah.
room, in the same space, and just, basking in the energy exchange that is happening, which is absolutely marvelous.
Mm.
Go ahead.
Oh, gotta love getting permission to do what you want to do. Okay, so I'm just going to quiet my mind, take a couple of breaths. We're always going to come through, and then you can ask anything that matters to you, okay? Here now present, in this moment, in every moment, at all times. Your wider perspective, that which is you from a different angle. Go ahead.
Thank you so much for coming through and for allowing me to ask some questions. I would love to hear WEOLA's perspective on, I feel like it's part of, so it lights me up, this whole dating thing, and like being a part of a new creation, like a co-creation of birthing something new, a new way of being, permission of being for men and women together and apart. What is your perspective on that? I'm not sure if this is.
What we want to say is that anywhere where your curiosity goes is where there is an opportunity for a physical manifestation. And so your curiosity is because you are tuning yourself into something new, a new idea or new curiosity. And then if this is something that is coming your way and it does not let you, so to speak, not explore it, then you know that you're really, really in the place of something wonderful unfolding. And so there is something more specific here to you. So what is that more specific you would like to know about this project?
Well, I am in the process of opening myself up to a life partner, or maybe I'm already open, maybe or not maybe, I am. And it's like a really delicate process, and it feels like I'm getting ready to be ready to be ready to be ready. And I love I love dating. I haven't done it in a while. I love it though. And it's out of, I'm not sure if egotistical would be the right word, but it's like from out of personal reasons, and something that I would love to see more people flourish in, because I have a lot of people around me that are not flourishing there.
The
Yeah.
first thing to be aware of is that everything that you see and is your curiosity of assisting to others is really for you first. And so there is no wonder that something that's really important to you right now, you want to bring someone in that creation. And so this is oftentimes friends would say, well, I want to master something and then I want to go ahead and teach you. And we say, you never really master something so that it's done. You're in a
Yeah.
process of constant mastering, meaning changing, meaning receiving, meaning evolving. And so what you're talking about is I'm aware that I'm in the process, but I'm so excited about the process that I do not need to put any kind of walls around me to figure it out and then teach. I'm just going to do it from the place of my own discovery and from the place of confidence of knowing that I'm in to discover this. You see, if you were not to be in a lighthearted curiosity and excitement, we did not sense any kind of necessity to find a life partner. We just felt this curiosity. I haven't done it for some time, but I'm curious to do it. I really love to do it, and I want to see where this takes me. But I also see some people who would love to flourish here too. In other words, keeping it lighthearted in that place and keeping that awareness that those that you see that are currently not flourishing are already flourishing. And so now they want to flourish some more. And that's the reason why they want to have someone reflect that back to them on more regular basis. There is no formula, a cookie cutter formula that matches everyone at the same time. In other words, there is no a way that everyone is supposed to follow in order to get the reflections of their evolution. Some do it through hopping from one relationship to another. And some of them love to be in one relationship for a long period of time. And some of them are mixing it and matching it. And some of them do not want to be in a partnership relationship, but they get their relationship in a different way, from a friend, from a family member, from a business partner, from a pet, from observing the trees and the skies. In other words, there's so many different ways. And what we want to offer to you is to, as you're getting into this wonderful birth of this wonderful new experience for you and for others, is first that you are safe. Because you feel safe and secure, you're in a place of curiosity. And from that place of curiosity, now that's what you want to keep. In other words, you do not want to drag this into the place of I'm going to help you save your love life. I'm here to discover it, and I'm inviting you to discover it with me. And so we'll remind you that your experience is like you are looking through a keyhole or a peephole on your door, right? So you're looking through it, and it's so tiny, only you can look through it. No one else can look from the same angle as you are seeing right now. And the best part about that keyhole or peephole is that it's movable. You can move it in different angles and see it. That's why someone tells to you, well, now I know what you meant when you said that. Or now I know what you were going through because I'm going it through right now. At that moment, they are observing something from a specific angle that you used to observe, but no two focusing mechanisms can at the same time observe or experience through the same angle. And so this attempt to put 2, 3, 300, 300,000, 300 million, or 8 billion to the same keyhole or peephole will never work. And so the social constructs, family constructs, your habits of thoughts, your beliefs, your expectations are all so different. So in a place of you being an uplifter, in a place of you being someone who wants to open up the space, you're bringing someone into the discovery of who they are from their unique angle. And so as you're so wonderfully lighthearted, there will be the moments where you will feel responsibility or that you have to do something because of the feedback that you're getting, how wonderful you're doing. Armand and Kosta have gotten through that phase. Kosta so much so he was trying to save a person in Africa. And so you want to just ease up. And when you feel you're shifting towards responsibility, remind yourself that it's okay that sometimes you do not have ability to respond to somebody else's big desire that they want to see immediately, and bring yourself into this lighthearted space from which this creation was birthed to begin with.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. Thank you so much. Armand, can I ask you to ask something? Because you said I had some ideas, or is that okay? Do you feel called
You mean, do you
to?
want me to ask
Yeah,
Viola?
if you feel like it, because you said, "Oh, I have some things that I also would like to share with you," and I thought, "Ah, maybe it's does that feel good for you to?"
Yeah, I can ask. I have no idea what's my question, but it's gonna come up right now. I was receiving other things. Yes, I would like, actually, on this moment that we are, and having as an excuse this energy exchange and our 10th anniversary uh since we've met, which seems to be many, many, many lifetimes already. Would you please share any words or rampage about love, romantic love, and human relationship within, that romantic experience? Yes, that aspect of romance, love, and relationships.
Everything that you're experiencing is always in relation to something in your physical experience. And so it's safe to say that you would not be able to exist in your physical reality without relating yourself to something, to someone. And so this is your desire. This is why you do want to have this experience of committed place of interchange of energy. And this is why your planet has been going in that direction. And while not everyone is wanting to have the same intensity of that experience, the committed life partners want to do that. Deep down, you know that your life partner is not only about to that it cannot complete you. Your life partner cannot complete you. And if it cannot complete you, what is the value of someone constantly reflecting back to you? Well, not only positive things, but also negative things. In other words, you get to see yourself and do your inner measurement of your alignment, of your harmony and your balance based off of this place of openness. And so this person that you're relating with consistently, you call it your life partner, is someone who allows you to open yourself up for more. And we want to remind you that the place of feedback is a mixed bag, and you would not want it any other way. The moment you check out all of the things on your list is the moment that the new things show up on your list. So if you find a partner that matches everything that you have at this very moment, the next thing is to look what are going to be the next things to show up, because they will. If you're interested in engaging with this person, there will always going to be something new to experience. Your change is the only constant that you have in your life experience. And so you are not the same even moments ago, little as the days ago, weeks, months, years, or lifetimes ago. And your accumulation of all that has been in this very moment, and you cannot have enough of knowing who you are. And this is where your life partners help you the most. They're deliberately chosen by you, even though everything in your experience is, but in your physical reality, it is the first thing, the first person that you deliberately start choosing. It is not your parents, it is not your grandparents, your relatives. Oftentimes, it does not feel to you it's even your friends, because they're coming through your parents or they're coming through the school. So the life partner is the first beacon of light that you deliberately choose to interact with. And since you're whole and your partner is at all times whole, that's really what the game begins to be interesting to you, is how can you experience something different? What happens when you're in a negative space? How long do you want to stay there? All of these choices become more and more obvious to you because you have someone to reflect that back to you. And while it's a free will choice to see how much of that you want to have, most of you are seeking for a partner because of that. Your partner is everything that you ever wanted to stimulate within you more of your discovery. And so we say you relax, you do not take things too seriously. You remind yourself that that's anyway you from a different angle. And so when you remind yourself that your partner is you from a different angle, you bring yourself back to that oneness that you came from. And then it's okay when you do not and when you forget about it, because forgetting and remembering and forgetting and remembering and knowing and not knowing and knowing and not knowing is really the name of the game. You cannot have enough of switching perspectives to get to know yourself better, to know yourself in a fuller way. And the best part about it is the more perspectives you hit or the more questions that are asked, everything that exists reconfigures and the new perspectives show up. And so there is no finite amount perspectives that you are going to check off before you end the game, because there is always more perspectives being born because you have the courage and you're excited to go in to explore them. Having this wonderful exchange in somewhat committed way allows you really to remind yourself why you're here. That's why relationships are so at the forefront of your mind, and you would not have it any other way.
Wow.
Will allow you to take your time and integrate this wonderful exchange. And for now, that's it. Mm.
The good thing it's recorded. I'm a bit like words are kind of
Oh, they'll come later. Let them. It integrates. Yeah, I know. Lots of energy comes through in these interactions. Yes. You've received everything that you wanted to receive, and now you're gonna discover it. That's the
yeah.
fun part.
So one last question maybe before you have a son.
Yes, we do.
How long is he with you in the meantime?
Say it again.
How long is he with you in the meantime? How long has he been in your
Since
life?
his birth. Oh yeah.
How long is that ago?
But he 14 months
sorry.
ago. 14 months
14
ago. He
months.
was born 14
Yeah.
months ago. Yeah.
14 months.
Really? That is so interesting because I remember, when did you post it for the first time on Facebook?
Well, when he was born, maybe like a week after.
Mm-hmm.
It
Yeah,
feels like it was a couple of months ago that I saw
Oh
this
yeah.
post.
Time flies, lots of speed.
Wow, how is it? Because you said, Armand, how you feel your intuition has like skyrocketed since he's in your life.
It's interesting because you know, my perspective is that actually I have more freedom now than before. In what sense? Like, um, before, if something triggers me, I could just easily distract myself and put it under the carpet by having a glass of wine, doing this, that. I would always find an excuse to do it, you know. But when you have a son, and especially, I would say that it was very intense the first 3 months where you're tired, sleepless, and then you actually cannot put anything under the carpet and the trigger comes, you have no other choice than the freedom to amplify the freedom of shifting in seconds.
Well,
So,
you do, but we did not. We actually consciously wanted to head on where like this is an opportunity for us to like really speed everything up for ourselves.
yeah. Yeah, it was our choice.
Yeah.
I'm talking from my perspective. I had no choice, meaning that's exactly
Oh yeah.
what I wanted, because you know, and the freedom that I'm experiencing from that perspective is astonishing, because now in everything, all my relationship, our relationship, the freedom of being me, the freedom of being the essence of you know, of being the essence of my desires, the freedom of doing what I want to do, the freedom of having what I want to have, you know. And within this dance, where we have the son, our son, who is like so in love with everything and with himself, and he looks himself at the mirror and just basking without thinking, or how do I look, what did I do, you know, like where he switches from, you know, if he fails and you know, he's crying, and then in seconds he's bam again and just running and laughing at you and don't even remember anymore, you know, like it's just the not holding on to anything, just, you know, in the moment, in the now. That's
Attachment, yeah.
true freedom.
Yeah. He brings everything in the now, and he brought a lot of speed in everything, and he is unwavering, unapologetic about dragging you into the now moment and getting you to feel good. It's like he does not. We often things with you know, newborn kids that they're crying because, you know, they have some necessity. They do. They have some basic stuff you need to take care of. But when they get whining, even now, he's like, you know, our little toddler, and we're like, oh my gosh, here comes the drama, right?
Yeah, talk for yourself.
Yeah.
I don't.
What do you mean?
I don't say here comes the drama.
Because you're both Latin American. That's why.
Maybe.
Because drama is in your blood. No. But he's
not in my reality.
But he's very very unapologetic about dragging, kind of like, come on, it's not that serious, ease up, come play with me, why are you so serious? No, you don't have to do that, it's okay for things to stay a little messy, that's fine, but this is now, no, come here,
Yeah.
let's do this, let's do this, let's do this. And then, you know, when you don't get there, then he will entertain himself, but then he will remember, it's like, these kids are here on a mission to just be like, come on, everybody, loosen up. It's like, just loosen up and have fun and just play.
And don't you feel freedom amplified when you're loosening up and you're just playing?
Sure.
Yeah.
And time speeds up, because I had a blast the last couple of apparently 14 months. Because I have a feeling that I saw it like max 6 months ago, that Facebook exploded because you posted this picture of the three of you.
Yes.
Yeah. So
really nice.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for inviting us and for having this awesome.
This was so much fun. I really had no idea what we're gonna talk about.
Me neither.
Like I didn't even think of, I didn't even think about that. I was just, it's a yes, it was easy. I asked him, can you do, oh yes, Okay, let's do it. So,
So good.
thank you. Thank you for
Thank you
bringing
for
that.
bringing us in and having this
Uh,
wonderful conversation. Yeah.
Yes. How perfect, synchronistic, and serendipitous it is. And I'm so
And you know
excited
what?
for you.
Thank
I'm
you.
so excited for you.
Me
You're
too. And
doing
you know what,
amazing. You're doing so
Armand,
great.
I'm not a part of this group anymore, but that's how we connected actually, because you were in the group that we were both, and I was like, I think I know this guy. And then you're like, yeah, it's me. And so that's how this came about.
Yes, yes,
Mm.
yes.
So interesting. I love how Bashar, maybe WEOLA says it too, like, don't be attached to the outcome, just follow the light, and you will,
Yes,
you will figure
absolutely.
out what it was meant for. And so it was not
Mhm.
about the group, it was about me getting together
Yeah.
with you guys.
Because there are infinite outcomes and
Yeah.
allow the possibility for all of them to exist.
Hmm.
And
I
then
like
when
the
you do
best
that,
ones.
and then but when you do that, it's actually when you get into exact of your preference. Okay.
Here comes, here comes. He's so excited. I love to see him like this when he gets into the coaching mode. So fun. It's
You
so
call it coaching mode. I call it sharing.
oh, sharing is caring. Okay, okay, okay. No, but I love it. I love it when he turns it on and he's like,
Okay, I think you guys need to get a room while you live together, so
oh
that's cool.
yeah.
Yes, we are.
Enjoy,
Definitely.
enjoy
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Have an amazing night. In Amsterdam. We still have the rest of the day. And yeah, hope to meet you in person soon.
Yes.
Yeah. Mwah.